Hello and welcome to the Penno channel. We're back for another show talking all things Aston Villa. I'm joined with my bro on this beautiful Monday evening. The sun is shining. It's been a glorious day today. Even if you've been working, man, the sun has been coming through. I hope you managed to get outside, especially people in the UK. It's been a great day. Weather's lovely. Bro, how you doing? How are you enjoying your Monday? Yeah, how's things?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. The weather's actually really gorgeous today, man.
It's
You're all right.
baking off, isn't it? It's baking off. It's lovely. Like, yeah, man. Just hope there's more days like this summer for what's remaining of it anyway.
I was just outside just for the past hour, but come in obviously to talk Aston Villa, what we love to do more. So yeah, looking forward to this podcast, man. I think it's been about a week since the last one that we did together. So a lot's happened. As always is the case, it seems with Villa in transfer windows that you can't miss a day without something happening. So
Yeah, bro, it's been again just a busy week as always, and it seems like it's never ending at Villa. And there's always things happening and lots to discuss. So yeah, we're going to get into it. We've got Michael in the chat. He says, "Good evening. Thanks for joining, Michael. As ever, always supporting and watching. So appreciate that, Michael." Yeah, bro. Where do we start then? Should we start with the tour? Villa made their way to the USA, had their first game in Ohio. Now I missed the game live, not just because of the timing, but I was out at the time. I was raving. I was living it up. So I missed the game. Watch highlights and a few things after, but as my bro, the sturdiest one, the studious one, the one who stayed up, watched it from play to play, watched the game. And yeah, bro, what was your breakdown? When I woke up in Sunday morning and saw a 4-1 loss, after seeing Leon Edwards lost to Belal Muhammad as well, I was just like, yo, what's going on last night? But yeah, bro, talk to me. Thoughts on the game against Columbus Crew?
yeah, as always, it's pre-season, isn't it? So of course, results do matter normally, but like they don't really matter as much in pre-season. It's about fitness, tear that gets played out. There was a feeling like halfway through the game where it was just like, okay, this could get a bit embarrassing now, like if it carried on. Luckily, it did stop at 4 because they probably could have scored a lot more. I'll talk on the team in the first half. Feeney and Pau Torres started at the back. It was good to see Enzo Barrenechea starting again. Ilin Jr. on the left, Bailey on the right, with Archer and Morgan Rogers up top. Bro, their press was crazy. Like from the first minute, we knew that we were going to be in a game because they pressed us straight away. We were a bit uncomfortable at first, but yeah, the tempo was like a Premier League game, bro.
Yeah, you got to think like Columbus Crew. They're 12 games into their season in the MLS, so they're sharp and they're at the sharpest. The players that are playing for them, and we're just into our third game of pre-season, so we're not going to be off the level. Especially the players that are playing haven't played in any European competition or Copa America within this time. They're just coming back from their holidays and getting into training and playing matches and getting that match sharpness after the season finished. So that's totally understandable. And if Columbus Crew put on that press, I can see why it may have been difficult, especially in that first half.
And we gotta have to talk about that guy, man. The beginning of the 2021-22 season. I
was gonna say his debut, yeah.
Cucho Hernandez, bro. I'm sick and tired of this guy, bro. Sadio Mane, Shane Long, Cucho Hernandez. He's made the list, bro. I'm sick of this guy.
I remember the goal he scored against us at Vicar Drive. It was a banger, wasn't it? They'll beat us 3-2, I think, that day. He scored an absolute banger.
Yeah, that was kind of the beginning of the end for Dean Smith at Villa, like just going off that game. But yeah, it was a sick goal, and obviously first half hat trick, man. They were finding a lot of joy with our high line. Obviously, we're going to carry on with the high line because it was successful for most of the time last season. But yeah, they were catching us out. And honestly, bro, tactically, their manager, you could tell like he prepared for this. Like he wasn't seeing it as a friendly; he was seeing it as a chance to go against Unai Emery and Premier League opposition. And yeah, they were sick. They were sick, to be fair. First half, especially. Second half, we had more control of the game. Archer took his goal really well, I thought. Bailey found the ball centrally, played it to Archer. Nice feint, faked the shot, and a rooftop finish. So that was good for him to score because with the homegrown rule, it looks like he's going to be sticking around for the season for our Champions League squad. So good for him to get confidence as well.
Yeah, bro. So the ins and outs of the first half, what really was the picture? Was it, players are not used to playing with each other? Communication? Was it just one of those things where it's pre-season and people are just trying to find out how each other play, and there was just a
Honestly,
few tweaks that were needed, or was it just Columbus Crew were just on it and at it, and we were just not there?
honestly, the tempo was really good. Like the game was
Yeah,
enjoyable. It wasn't. It was, bro. It was proper, and we were having to play quick passing, get around their press, and we were playing some nice stuff at times as well. Like Enzo in the middle is such a joy to watch. Honestly, like I know you can be really early on praise with a new signing, but this kid's special, man. You just know when someone has talent. The way he receives the ball, the way he understands space, the way he can anticipate being pressed, always finds the right pass. Just a joy to watch, man. He was really good. We just struggled defensively. The high line, keeping the line correct, and everyone being equally distanced and keeping the line. We just struggled with, like the long ball over the top. They were finding a lot of joy, and with Feeney and Powell, we kind of lacked the recovery pace when that ball did go over the top. I mean, for the third goal, Feeney kind of got caught, and maybe Gauchi should do better with it. But yeah, man, attacking wise, it was mainly Bailey being on the ball. Ilin Jr. We spoke about him before. He was in like that left sided space, tucked in with Moreno overlapping. He's very one-footed, Ilin Jr. I said on the pod before, I think long term he's either going to be a right winger or a left back. This. I don't think him starting tucked in on the left suits his game at all, because there's
yeah,
less space, there's less room to attack, and he doesn't really use his right foot. So it's almost like all his actions are away from goal, if that makes sense.
yeah.
So yeah, I think long term we'll see him on the right or as a left back solely. But
So
yeah, that.
going into that second half, then, and we saw the big names come on. We saw the new signings. How did Ian Maatsen and Amadou Onana and Emi Buendia coming back as well? Huge. How did they all integrate into the team, and did they show the qualities within that 45?
Yeah, big up Buendia, because I was so happy to see him come back, as were most other Villa fans, I'd imagine. Such a cruel way for him to get injured in training last season and just to wipe out a whole season.
And he was one of the best players in pre-season. Him and Philogene were the standouts in pre-season.
Yeah, exactly.
Last year.
And it's just jokes. I was thinking that we're seeing them back in pre-season again. Like
Mad at it.
one of them, like here we are.
One's missed the whole season.
Yeah, imagine you missed the season. You just there's Philogene and Buendia again. Just like I wonder how they did that. Yeah, but Buendia got a lot more minutes than I expected. And bro, his general level of performance was way more than anything I expected. I was expecting a couple of touches, but no, he was quite good actually. Luca Dean, centre back.
Yeah, I did see bits of that.
He was played in centre back. Moreno was kept on the pitch, and yeah, interesting role for him as well. Carlos's passing again is really, really good. Like he has the ability to pass, progress the ball quickly. It's just a shame defensively sometimes he can just be a bit clumsy in the box. His positioning is not always the best. If he had that side to his game, and let's say he was like 25 still, I genuinely think that's like a 70 million plus player, because his passing is ridiculous. And for the modern game, that's what you need. It's just the other side of it, really. But yeah, Onana, when he came on, standout player for me. So composed, took control of the midfield. His vision as well. He found Philogene straight away with his pass. He's just incredible, man. And
Onana sticks out more as a giant in the Villa shirt than he does in Everton. Now, I don't know if that's because Everton have Tarkowski, they have Decore, they have some Calvert-Lewin, they have some giants within their team anyway. But he looked massive just massive on the pitch. Yeah, he just looked big in comparison to any player that was on the pitch at the time. And yeah, from what I've seen, he looks like he's going to be something.
He's going to be a hit. He's going to be a hit. I'm so convinced of this signing.
Yeah.
I'm so convinced that the Everton player you saw wasn't the full player on show.
He's going to get more opportunities to be on the ball as well, which he wasn't granted at Everton. It's a different style of play. That works for Sean Dyche and Everton. That helped them last season. They had good numbers as well last season, especially defensively. So that works for them. But I think under Unai Emery, he'll be allowed to play more on the ball as well and show his abilities on the ball more than he probably was allowed to at Everton. I just can't wait to see him off the ball. You know, he's just a monster. He's going to cover ground. He's going to make those tackles. He's going to win the ball back. And there's elements of that shown in the game on the weekend.
Well, his very first action when he came on was a jumping slide tackle on the halfway line. I was like, okay, this guy's on it.
Some of them tackles look mad, and he just
set the standard
gets the
away,
ball. Yeah, it's nuts. It's nuts. But in Maatsen,
just before we move on to that, I just want to see an Enzo Onana midfield once this preseason. Just let me just see what it looks like, because those two have been the standout midfield. I know Onana's barely played, but those two look to be the standout midfield performers so far for me.
Yeah,
Maatsen looked good, man. Maatsen looked decent. He wasn't nothing spectacular, but his touch looked decent. He was getting into good positions, good spaces. I think defensively in the future, that left side might be a little bit of a concern. I think you can kind of attack him if you're like cutting inside, and then Powell, it's not his best trait as well. So I think whoever's in midfield is going to have to probably have to cover a little bit with Maatsen and Powell on that left side. Only a tiny bit, just something I've noticed as well. But yeah, Maatsen looked good going forward. And Philogene started the game a bit sloppy with his touches, like something wasn't off. But I thought as the game grew on, bro, he was finding good spaces. He was getting in behind. Probably a couple of times he could have done better with his shot, but his link-up play improved as the game went on, definitely. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Their goal came from a Matty Cash mistake in the box. I don't know what we was trying to do there. Yeah. They took it well, to be fair. But yeah, that was pretty much the second half. We controlled the game way more.
Yeah, and I think games like this, we'll control most of the games against the opposition we play, because that's our game now. And the possession stats look like 70% for Villa, which is just going to be the norm. And teams are going to try and look to break us, catch us on the break and on the counter, and we're going to just have to break teams down. And with the players we've got more players that have come into the side now who are really good on the ball. So yeah, man, it's going to be interesting. And obviously it's just pre-season. It's a pre-season game. The score looks a bit mad, but it's pre-season, doesn't really mean anything. It's just an opportunity for Unai to see a few combinations on the pitch, players to get some more minutes in the tank and prepare themselves, because the season is not far away. It's 19 days now until the season starts, which is not far at all. So yeah, John McGinn was out there. I saw he was out there. Yuri Tillemans is out there. So I don't know if is Yuri Tillemans is it injury or anything, or would they just not? Because Amadou and Onana was there. He was playing. They were both in the same Belgium side. Is that more of an injury, bro? That why he didn't get minutes?
I actually don't know. That's a good point about Onana. Actually, I've just realised that now.
Yeah, because Tillemans was there on sideline. McGinn was there as well. He didn't play.
I think some of them are being staggered for the next game. Or to be fair, I think Ramsey's being staggered as well for the next game.
Yeah. It'd be interesting against RB Leipzig.
Need to see Ramsey. Need to see Ramsey just this preseason, man. Please. Buendia's come back now. Let's see Ramsey.
It'd be lovely to see Buendia and Ramsey on the pitch just together now. Just see where they're at, and hopefully they're both ready for the season opener. I think does Buendia look like he's ready now, or is it just nice to see him get minutes, or does he look like potentially he could be in the squad for the start of the season?
Too hard to say, I think. Yeah. Too hard to say. He was picking up nice spaces and he was doing a lot more than I expected. We'll see. I think maybe a couple more games. Well, how many games we got left now? Probably 4, I think, in total. 4 or 5. I think it's 4 actually, yeah. So maybe after all those games finish, he gets more minutes. He might look a lot more ready. Maybe some behind closed doors friendlies as well to help him.
Nah, it's fantastic to see him.
It's good. The one thing that stood out to me, boys, is the options. So many options in the squad now. It's beautiful to see.
And that's what we needed, man. Especially towards the end of last season, we were to the bare bones. No fault of our own. It was just injuries were picked up, and that's part and parcel of a football season. And we were literally to the threadbare when it became towards the last 10 games in the season, plus the Conference League. And the step down in quality was evident within the squad when players weren't available. But now it seems as if we've just got a bit more. The quality of the squad's just been raised with some of the signings we've made. And if someone were to be missing 1 or 2 players in a certain position, there's still enough quality in cover, which is huge going into such a big season. Bro. Just moving on from that then. No, I was just going to say, like, who who's impressed you so far, like the most in pre-season? I know you said Onana and Barrenechea in terms of the midfield, but what players have kind of stood out in the first 3 games who could potentially be making a push for the starting 11?
Yeah, Barrenechea is the standout best player pre-season for me, 100%. Second, Costa after the first couple of games, I'd say 100%. But he's kind of got caught out a bit as well recently defensively, so I don't want to exaggerate too much. But he's looked decent, and I think he could overlap Cash in the pecking order, who hasn't had a great few games, to be honest. He made the mistake and he kind of got done as well the other night for another big chance for them. Morgan Rogers,
Big shot,
100%.
yeah. Michael, huge one, Mike Rogers.
Yeah, and one more player. I don't know. Still that Bogart performance in the second half against Travner. He was so good that game, and he wasn't supposed to go on tour at first. He wasn't supposed to go on tour, but it seems Villa had a change of heart. He signed an extension and he flew.
Yeah, which is big news.
He didn't fly with the squad. Yeah, he flew a couple of days later on his own. So he landed in America and he's part of the squad now. So he'll probably go out on loan next season.
Yeah, which is big news for Lamar Bogard, because he looked for intents purposes when he didn't get selected that he might be leaving anyway permanently. But for him to get a new deal is great, and I think he will go out and learn. I don't know if he'll be part of the squad this year, but for his development, who knows what level he can get to. There is a player in there for sure.
He's just one of them players that has such a high technical floor in terms of he's just never going to be below a certain standard, whichever the game is. Like you can trust him with the ball. Always shows for it as well. I just really like him as a player.
Yeah. How was Morgan Rogers within the game? Because as I said, I've not seen.
That was probably his poorest game pre-season, I'd say. The other 2 games before, he was much better.
Yeah,
he's a bit. I don't know if it's he's just more confidence in that. There's a couple of times where maybe I'd want him to play the ball just a little bit earlier. There was a time second half where Philogene was opening space to his left, and he kind of went inside before passing it back out to Moreno, who was then in a worse position. He shot over the bar. But I'd like that pass given a lot quicker to the man in space a bit more. That'll probably take his game even better.
Yeah. Been again now. These as the intensity like increases now with these games, we're going to be starting to look towards what potentially will be the starting 11 against West Ham, and I think we'll start to incorporate that into the next. There's 4 games left. He'll start incorporating that into the thinking now of what lineups will be the first team and what will be the second team, and a few positions still up for grabs.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because of Watkins' absence, but Rogers starting up front again.
Yeah, another one. Cameron Archer's got 2 in 2 now as well.
True. Yeah, that was a really good finish from Archer, man.
It was the footwork to get past the defender was when Bailey rolled it into him. The footwork to get past the defender, and then he took the additional touch, which you kind of thought he's taking it too wide, but the finish, roof of the net, man. He's a finisher. He'll find the back of the net, just getting him into those positions, and if he just has a bit more effect around the pitch, but in the box, yeah, he's deadly. He's a finisher. Yeah, bro. So pre-season continues out in the States. All Villa fans out there, hope you're having a great time. Be a great tour to be on, for sure. Moving on, bro. What talk about the kit then? That was the first time they played in the kit on the weekend. The kit's so nice, isn't it? The kit.
It's beautiful. They've smashed
the
it.
Kit is.
They've
absolutely smashed it with the kit design. It's
100%. It's a fire kit.
The colour of the claret is just spot on for me, and yeah, the whole design it really stands out, and yeah, I will be copying that for sure. But the whole branding, the whole advertising around the kit, and obviously the majority who watches will have seen the Adidas advert with Ozzy Osbourne and Butler. Gabby was in there. I want to play.
I want to play. Putting on that weird voice that he puts on. I don't know what that's about. But...
just changing his accent for the role for some reason. Yeah, the advert was sick with it, and you can tell by the reach that it's had and the interactions, and globally, he's had a ridiculous response.
Nearly 7 million views on Instagram, which is a lot better than like Manchester United's home kit reveal, Bayern Munich's. There was really a connection because a lot of comments I've seen just around like all socials is, I'm not a Villa fan, but now I'm a Villa fan kind of thing. Where it's just like, I don't have to support the team to make a connection and to feel something watching that advert, which was cool to see. And it's just about time, man. Villa have so much culture surrounding the clubs, so many links. And I think Chris Hex tapped into that with that advert and the collaboration with Adidas, man. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. Like, that's a big name. I don't know, you won't remember as much, but like, Home of the Osbournes was a huge show. Not even Ozzy Osbourne being part of Black Sabbath and anyway, and then being a massive worldwide band, but he was in one of the first big reality TV shows for like the Kardashians and that. So he's a household name. Everyone knows who he is. So for him to be part of the advertising, being a boyhood Villa fan, and having Geezer Butler within it as well, it's just huge. And yeah, you can see from the amount of people that have watched in the advert and just the amount of interactions, the amount of support. Yeah, it's mad. It's a big coup, and no, well done to Chris Heck and the team, because that's a massive statement for signing for a new manufacturer, and for them to put that together was quality for sure. Quick one from Michael. Michael's saying, it's my birthday in August. Happy birthday for when it is your birthday in August, Michael. He says, I'm only accepting 3 stripes, so he's going trainers, the full works. Hopefully the training gear and everything will be out soon. I'm not too sure when the away kit will come out. But yeah.
You'd think soon with the season in what, 19 days, you said?
Yeah. I'm looking for... I like the green kit. I like the green training wear as well. And yeah, I can't wait to see what the away shirt's going to look like, and the third kit, because the home kit looks better than I thought it was going to look.
It's a classic.
Instant classic. It's an absolute... Just the claret. The claret's so nice. And that's the most true claret we've had in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. See, I like some of the... sometimes when it is purplish, but this claret is good, man. I think it's correct.
It looks regal. Yeah, it does. It looks mad. Mark is saying Chris Heck is doing a great job, and do you know Ozzy's an Aston boy who used to live around the corner from me? Yeah, I know he's local, and he used to be Michael's neighbour.
Mike, they gotta get you in the next advert, man. Like, they gotta get you in, man.
Big facts. Oh, but yeah, bro, great for merchandise. It's gonna sell. I think the home shirt did record numbers on the first day, didn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Don't surprise me at all. And that shirt's just going to continue to sell, and it's going to reach an even further brand and make Villa even bigger. Just being signed to Adidas.
I don't want to go too early, but just seeing the plays in the kit, it's already like it's asking questions of the night kits, man. I'm not saying it's there, but it's asked the question in it, and let's see as the season goes on, like if it goes on even more. But already, like, it just looks clean, man. I just love when a kit looks clean. And bro, I've been looking at other Premier League kits, man. I know I'm biased, but I really think we're top 2.
It's one of the best. Yeah,
I'm not really sure like who's got a better than us. Maybe
it's Villa anyway, but not even being biased. It is one of the best this season for sure. Just
because I can admit, under Castore, we did not have. I mean, last season I think we had the worst kit in the league, to be honest. But
what's mad about it now is that after that season, that kit is so sentimental, and it's probably one of my favourite kits. Like, just because of getting Champions League football within it, and I'll love that kit for forever now. I just think, that one will be held quite high up for me. I know you weren't a fan of the design and stuff, and I was a part of it, but that kit holds a lot.
That's when I know a kit's bad, when getting Champions League don't even do nothing for me. Like, I still see pictures of it now. I'm just like, Jesus, man.
Even the kits from that, like this kit was nice. I like this one as well. Yeah, I think Duncan's joined and said thanks for joining. He goes, even though Cross, I bought a Diaby shirt last season now. That's sometimes the way it goes, Duncan, when players just Diaby one season and he's dipped, and everyone who's got a Diaby shirt, you can just remember him for that season. He made the most appearances for the club, so So he did play a key part in that fact. He played over 50 games, but yeah, just Diaby moving on is just. We discussed it last time, but he's a mad one, isn't it, bro? After one season.
Yeah, but in a weird way, kind of. I don't know. When I watched the Columbus game, I didn't feel like, oh my god, where's Diaby? You know, like I think it's just he served his purpose for the one season. We've got our money back, and by the looks of it, we're trying to sign his replacement.
Yeah, I just think it's mad because
replacement.
It's in the sense that it's your record transfer from the season before, and within one season where you're going above and beyond in your accomplishments, you sell your record transfer. It's like, yeah, and it's not for the reasons of because they were so outstanding in that season. Do you know what I mean? It's just mad. Yeah,
it's mad. It's mad, but
it's what it is. We move on, and we move on to transfer talk.
Do you want to talk about someone else that might believe in, and someone else that also enjoys Instagram lives? It seems, bro.
Madness, isn't it? Jhon Duran and his antics the other day. That guy is the biggest troll going. He's a joker. He lives for the joke. He lives for the drama. You can't get enough of it.
I'd laugh if I wasn't a Villa fan, honestly. Like, this guy, I can't believe the audacity, man. Like, he's just trolling, bro. Like, what is wrong with you, man? Like, honestly, what is actually going on?
He don't care. And that just showed with him doing that. He knew exactly what he was doing. It wasn't lost in translation because it was an action. It wasn't him saying anything, which previously has been the case with interviews that have taken place, and the quotes have been misquoted or they've been lost in translation with what he's saying. But that's just a blatant action on an Instagram live, which he knew people were going to clip as well because he even said that. He said they're going to take a picture of it. So, yeah, madness. And
if anyone hasn't seen the clip, by the way, Duran went on IG Live and he did the crossed arms to signal irons, which is like West Ham's like go-to things that their fans do. So obviously he's been linked with them. But is he going to join them, bro? It seems like Villa are holding firm on this 40 million price tag with a salary, which I kind of like in a way, but I am kind of worried at the back where it's just like, oh my gosh, like, are West Ham going to come back? Like, have we rejected them? Rejected them too much?
It feels like we're in a position of power in this one because that was not a bad offer. To be fair, it was not a bad offer for a club. West Ham are quite hard to deal with as well, in terms of they usually really low ball. So yeah, it was. I was surprised that we turned it down.
Louis Orford, Salon clause,
32 million, wasn't it?
Yeah, they went up to 32. Louis Orford. I'm not going to pretend like I've watched him, but I've seen a few clips. But West Ham fans seem to rate him really highly. Problem is with Villa is we're so stacked in midfield. It's just like you wouldn't.
Yeah.
As good as you are, it's not about talent really at Villa. It's all about like opportunity and timing. Would you even break through the first team when guys like Bogard, who are super talented, can't even get in?
Yeah.
Maybe that was the reason Villa kind of fallen there.
That's facts. But Louis Orford's England under 18s captain, so he's potentially in a similar mold to, but not as good as, but what Carney was at that time before he'd even made his like a debut for Villa in the Villa squad. That's how I see they see him. Maybe not as good as that, but 5 million. I don't know. Villa just didn't fancy it at all, and as you said, but it seems like they're just going to stand on that 40 million, and if you don't match it, he's not going anywhere. How would you feel if he ends up staying?
I think it'd be hilarious.
It'd be mad, wouldn't it?
It'd be hilarious. And I don't even think you get banished to the under. I know people always say, "Oh, this."
No.
I don't even think that would happen, man. I don't think that really happens in modern game. I think it's taking an apology and he'd be back, like genuinely. But yeah, I think it's best for all. I'm a massive Duran fan. I still think he's super talented. I still think he could be one of the best number 9s if he actually just like, I don't know how to describe him, but the talent's there. It's so obvious. Like, look at the amount of clubs still in for him, even with all this controversy. I mean, the Saudi club
that's
as well.
The match thing. Yeah,
put notes on him as well. He's one of the best under 21 talents, forward wise, on the planet. Like, I'm not going to pretend it's not true or just start lying because of what he's done. But man, Like, just chill, man. Like, relax, bro. Just relax and whatever, man.
But that's his personality. And
if he did stay, though, I just think it would be hilarious. I think fans will boo until he scored, and then fans would still boo, and then he'd have to score again and again, and then maybe he'd forgive him. But,
that's modern football. If he'd get a big goal, and then it would all. That's how it is, man. But
he'd have to be a last minute against Arsenal or something. So.
Yeah, it was a bit out of order, though, isn't it? It was a bit mad. Yeah, that was a bit of a step too far, I think, for a lot of fans, for sure. Because the other stuff we could take because he's got good characteristics and good personality. I've seen it in my own eyes when the mascots are there. He'll go over to the mascots. He'll kick the ball. He'll be one of the only players to do that. He'll kick the ball, do passing with the mascots and stuff like that. So he cares. He's got a good heart. We're just a wind-up merchant. He's winding a lot of fans up the wrong way. But facts for it will be hilarious if he does end up staying. But I can see him going, and I do think it will be West Ham, and I think they'll pay the money in the end. If not, I mean, there's been rumoured links to Newcastle. I don't know if that holds any weight. There's obviously the Saudi talk and inquiries from teams in Saudi. Duran wouldn't want to go to Saudi. I don't think that would materialise. Even if we had an offer accepted, I don't think he'd go there. I think London's calling, and it was Chelsea. It's not Chelsea anymore, so now it's West Ham.
I've just had a thought. Imagine if Villa were holding out until after we play them. That I've never even considered that option. Imagine
I was thinking that the
if
other day.
waited until after we played. Do you remember when who was it? We held out for Finazaz. We didn't send the contracts on purpose.
From Middlesbrough.
Yeah, so it wasn't in time for him to play us in the FA Cup. I wonder if we're trying that kind of shit. Like,
I thought that the other. I think I said that a few days ago. I was like, "Oh, Villa actually stalling on this, and we're going to stall on it until after we've played them, which is what 3 weeks, just under 3 weeks. Imagine." But we'll score against. If it's not Jhon Duran, he'll score against us. We'll score against us.
Oh,
be that other striker.
Can't win. I can't win, man.
It was that other striker we sold last year. But yeah, man. Interesting, and the plot thickens with Jhon Duran. There's a few comments in here, more people have joined. If you could like the stream, I don't think I've mentioned anyway. If you could like the stream and sub if you're new around here, please. It'd be much appreciated. James Richmond, I think he goes, good game in C-Bus, crew up. I think he's a big Columbus Crew fan. Thanks for joining, James. Thanks for watching. Spendon's joined. Thanks for joining. He says, give them the Rice treatment. They held out strongly for Rice. Money. So why should Villa be different? 100% agree. The club, they set the fee. If you don't match the fee, then so be it. I think that's how we're working, and I like that. Kevin, thanks for joining. He goes 36 plus add-ons I've heard for Duran. Interesting. We'll see. Michael said, Penna, have you been enjoying the tunes I've been posting? I have indeed, Michael. I do listen to those tunes. Keep posting them. Keep posting them for me. They're nice and relaxing, chill, especially the Brazilian tunes you put up. So, yeah, keep them coming. Will said, I'd rather not face Duran at West Ham. He will haunt us. Will's got that same feeling like me and you when we play former players and they usually come back to bite us.
Like, when the storyline's so obvious and it's just boring, like, just I'm so over it already, man.
Yeah. Elia Coco, thanks for joining. Big question here, Adam. How is that profile pic feeling now that Enzo and Amadou is looking solid with buys?
Honestly, he's feeling dated, man. I might have to upgrade it soon, man. He's
thinking of a change.
I don't know. I feel like it's bigger than me. Like I just have it there.
I feel like it is you.
He's part of the podcast now, yeah, boy. Same size head anyway. But yeah, man, he's just part of the podcast now. So
he's also said, mind you, my favourite Villa player is Kamara, and I can't wait for him.
It's just mad that he's out as well. Like we still got Kamara. Stupid.
Probably one of our best players, and he's still out. And two of our other best players haven't even played any minutes yet in pre-season. Well, three of our best players haven't played any minutes in pre-season as well. Michael says, Duran is like that wild teenager who gets you angry but still love. Facts. Adonga says Duran has ambition. To be fair to him, he does. He wants to be the best. He feels like he's the best.
Funny, like it's a game. I do actually genuinely think it's a game time thing. Like, I genuinely think if Everton wanted him, I think he'd go to Liverpool if he was promised starts. It just seems like he wants to play in the Premier League, which is fair enough. But like, you're just going about it the whole.
He's just got the wrong way. The wrong
like,
way. He's just cutting ties left, right, and centre. I don't care. Ethan Woodward, thanks for joining. Ethan, he goes, Calvin Phillips, you. Thoughts on that then? Some. I don't know if the truth, the validity behind it, but it was. I think it was TalkSport, wasn't it? They said potentially looking at Calvin Phillips on loan.
Thought he was Football Insider.
Oh, was it? I think TalkSport put it
how,
up
like,
as well.
Some random person can just make up a random thing, and like the amount of weight that he just carries now, like social media is crazy, man. And if it is true, it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. Like, genuinely, one of the dumbest.
Not feeling Calvin Phillips.
No.
What about if it's the quota and
no,
he's a signing?
Terrible signing. Not only is he not as good as he was at Leeds, it would also block off talent we've just brought in. Like, it's just stupid. Would hate it. Genuinely hate the signing. But I don't think it's true.
No, I don't know. But yeah, I'm not really a fan of Calvin Phillips any past few seasons, to be honest. Duncan said we don't need Phillips. We're stacked in midfield and left back. And Kevin said Buendia back is a bonus. Yeah, huge bonus. Another player who can just play after striker in those attacking areas, and one of our most creative players. And we've, albeit Moussa Diaby had a decent season last season, he was one of our most creative players, which is mad because he didn't seem like he was watching, but his numbers, he had a lot of creative actions and was high up for us in the season. So we need as many creative players as we possibly can have, so Watkins can continue to hit the heights that he did last season. So yeah, bro, we move on. Duran, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Joao Felix. And what is this just still paper talk, or do you reckon there's any substance behind all this? Because, you know, this has been talked about previous transfer windows. Again, it's, you know, it seems like Villa's the only club that could potentially work a transfer with Atletico to get him to sign. Barca seem out of the picture. Benfica might not have the package to get him the money that's required. What's your thoughts and feelings regarding this one?
I think it's 100% true. I think we want him. Unai Emery's always been a fan. Last year, he was asked about Felix. He said he wanted him, but they couldn't afford him. Now we've made sales. We can afford him. I think it's 100% true. Fabrizio's reporting on it, probably the most reliable journalist out there. I think it's just a big deal, and it's going to take time. And it might even go into the start of the season, which was why we're seeing Morgan Rogers being played where he's being played. It's like a just-in-case thing almost, if Felix isn't signed by then. But yeah, I think it's happening, man. I think if we can agree a deal and we can force Atleti's hand to like reduce the price a lot more than it is currently, they don't want him. He's training on his own. Like, he's got no future at Atletico Madrid. That works in our favour. Like, they've shown their hand already.
Is he going on tour with them?
I'm not sure, but they're not trying to integrate him into the first team for next season. Like, he's training on his own, so I think it could get done, man. It's just about the finance of the deal. It's a massive deal. It's probably one of the biggest deals in the window financially. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Because of a player of that level, like his rights, his image rights, and all that stuff is huge, isn't it? Like, Joao Felix is a big name. So
and just look how much he went for as well.
Yeah,
Atletico are operating from.
They're taking a huge loss.
Yeah,
huge loss. Either way, crazy. Like,
that's what you got to think. Like, 70 million to us looks crazy. Selling for 70 million to Atletico feels crazy for them as well, because they're taking what, a 50 million hit already, and
there's 120, wasn't it?
I can't. I still think loan with buy option is the best route. I know Atletico are saying they want to sell him permanently, but tough, man. Like, what else are you gonna do? Like, keep him, even though you've cut ties. So, still think loan with option to buy. You get the vibes. You get him in Birmingham, in Villa for one season for Champions League. You don't have to tie yourself to some crazy like 6-year deal, which you'd probably have to do to finance it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad the figures that are being quoted, and he did have a reduction in his salary, didn't he, at Atletico? I think that was the case when he signed the new deal. But
he's on like 100k now, is it?
Yeah, which isn't mad in the grand scheme of things if that was to be the case for Villa compared to what players are on. But it's just the fact that the outlay they've had for Joao Felix and he has no part within their plans at all is insane. Like, I think there's not been many worse. Maybe Coutinho was one of up there in that in terms of the fee and then the game time and the outlay, how much they would have paid for the games he's played. Joao Felix probably played more games than Phil Coutinho is, even though he's been on loan to a number of clubs while he's been there. But yeah, they'll want to recruit some of their money back, but it's a case of just playing hard ball, isn't it? And just, I think it's one of those where, as you said, it would just go on and may happen close to the end of the window.
I was thinking about earlier though, in terms of like the type of player he is. He suits that role of being a second striker in a 4-4-2 so well. Like, it's almost perfect. Just the way he plays. If it lands and if he plays to his potential, which is kind of crazy speaking like 5 years on still, but he hasn't settled at a club yet since his Benfica days. So if it lands, we're scary. Like, we are so scary if it lands. Like, he's the perfect player to drop deep, to link up play, to express himself on the ball, to find Watkins. We just have to cover a bit defensively, which is why I think we've seen Bailey's defensive levels increased a lot already. And I think that's coaching by Emery, because against Columbus Crew, he was really good off the ball. He was like kind of marking their midfield, making sure he didn't find any space. So we'd have to cover for Felix defensively, but if it works, yeah, I really think he'd suit the team. I just rather a loan deal than permanent.
Yeah, I hear it. It's the thing is as well though. It's just Unai with strikers. Like, the track record is a joke. Like, how he just gets the best out of forwards or front players is ridiculous. Look what he's done to two of ours in Watkins and Bailey. They transformed them in terms of their numbers and output. Even Diaby had decent output last year. Like, Morgan Rogers' output was starting to really get going once he got settled in. Jacob Ramsey's numbers towards the second half of that season, he was getting mad numbers before the season got closed out, and he was scoring critical goals, getting critical assists for us to qualify for the Conference League. So Unai Emery attacking the players and getting the numbers up, he's right up there. And I think he just did the same with Joao Felix as he's done with a lot of attackers and strikers. So that's what's enticing me, and plus the way he talks about him, it seems like he'd love him as a player to be part of the team. I think that gets me more than actually Joao Felix. It's like Unai Emery working with him. Who knows what potentially can unlock? I don't know if you have that same thought process, or it's more just the player.
It's more the player for me. Just what I know.
Yeah.
It's just that idea of what could, if it does work. I think there's a lot that could go wrong, of course, like with any signing, but if it worked, like the connection, the link-up play he'd have with Watkins. And what would our front four be? Rodgers, Watkins, Felix, Bailey.
Ramsey.
Yeah, I just meant like
Ramsey, yeah. And then Ramsey, Buendia, Philogene. Yeah, it's mad. It's
scary.
Scary. It is. A few more comments. Kevin says on the negative, Ming's not on at all. Yeah, that's a big miss and a big loss, and it's a shame, man, because I thought Tyler Ings might make it. When initially towards the end of the season there was like image of him in around Bodymore Heath, which I know he's been throughout his whole rehabilitation. Apart from when he went to America, he's been around Bodymore Heath and still around with the squad while he's been doing his rehabilitation. But it is a shame that it looks like he won't be ready for the start of the season, and potentially he might still be a few months off from his return. Yeah, your thoughts on that, bro?
Brother, do we need to sign a centre back? Because I really think it's one of the priority positions. Something we didn't mention: Dean Huijsen, we got linked by Fabrizio, showing interest. One of the most promising centre backs in Europe at the moment, talent wise. Got it. That one didn't come through. I think he would have been perfect for Villa as like a project.
He went for a good fee, as like a decent fee for Bournemouth, 15 million euros.
I get why he's gone Bournemouth, but it's just like, come on, man. Like, he would have solved all that issue. 2-footed, can cover both sides. Oh man, yeah, that one hurts.
I think it was stated that Villa had interest, but it was just first team football, and I just think Villa can't guarantee that. And we've gone to him and Zabani is a very good partnership because Zabani's he's a good centre back, and both are going to be so young and have time to develop. So yeah, it's
He'll
good
be
signing
gone
for Bournemouth.
50-60 million soon enough, I think.
Ethan said Joao Felix ain't happening or smokescreen for someone else. Could be the case. Could be the case indeed.
I don't know about him.
Duncan says, I think Felix is most likely signing now. He covers left wing cam and backward striker. Perfect signing for me. Yeah, I'm starting to be of that opinion as well, Duncan. Ellie says, what do you guys think about Nielovic? He looked hella Peter Crouchy movement wise against the US side. He has potential. Was it just me or is he stocky? What's in Nielovic? He loves to bomb forward, but that is one thing. He's rapid when he runs forward, and he's quite composed on the ball. Your thoughts on Costa?
Yeah, he's just raw. Like you can see why he's been signed. Probably he's not 100% like understanding of his body, like as well, and like he hasn't had full Unai Emery coaching. Like he only joined Villa in I think it was just pre-season because he went back to Red Star. He got injured as well. He's just coming back from injury.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think going forward he's looked quite sharp. Some nice link up. Couple of times he's been caught out defensively though. In the last 2 games. But he's 18. Like I'm not expecting crazy things from him just yet. But I do think we need a new right back. I think we do need to go in the market and sign a right back. I think it's a kind of a bit of a priority position now.
Yeah. What's mad as well with these players, even though they're so young, they've probably got more Champions League experience than a lot of other players in our squad. You think of Costa,
100%.
you think of Baranachea, Ilin Jr., Maatsen, like they've all played Champions League football. So
Onana's played Champions League. He's got 2022.
Yeah,
we've got Lille.
At Lille as well, yeah. So
they
may be young, but they've had that experience, which I think sometimes we kind of forget that Kostasinovic was playing Champions League football just the other season.
That's true.
Will says Felix going on loan doesn't reduce his contract length. Yeah, I think that is the case. Ellie says
what I meant by that is instead of Villa signing him to a 6-year deal, we get him on loan, we trial it out, and then we can see if we want to sign him.
Work from there, yeah. If there is an option put in place,
because with a fee that big, the contract's got to be long so that we can amortize it for FFP. So we'll be looking at a mad contract length.
You'd be looking for 6 years, wouldn't you?
Yeah, 100%.
Ellie says, Felix feels like a smokescreen at this point. Would love it. So again, another fan thinking it might be. It might be. We've done a few smokescreen. I don't know.
Oscar Bob. Nicholas Jackson. Would you take him? I would.
Yeah, of course I would. Of course I would.
If they're signing Osbourne, if that's true, I have no idea why Chelsea are signing Osbourne. Don't understand that one at all.
Nicholas Jackson's number for his first season, his numbers were decent, and okay, the big chance he missed some glaring chances, but he still scored 15 goals and got 8 assists, and that was missing all those chances. So yeah, Nicholas Jackson's a good player, and his hold-up play and everything else is really good. So
I know people would laugh, but man, I'll rate him so much, and he's played in the Emery system as well. Problem is they'd be demanding like 70 million because they're signing for like 30, so I can't see that.
Sorry, Duncan. Duncan said, if Unai can get Felix back to his Benfica best, he'll be the joint best player in the league alongside Rodri. He'd be right up there. If he could get him to play to that level, yeah, he would. That's a fact. Kevin said, wasn't impressed with Gauchi, to be honest. Yeah, from what I've seen of Gauchi, as I said, I only caught the highlights of Columbus game, but the other games, he looked really good and composed. His performance against Columbus, was it just a bit lacking in that?
It's the third goal, I think. The third goal is like straight down the middle at him, and when you never play, you kind of have to take your opportunity with these games to build trust, especially as a keeper. So yeah, even though it's pre-season, you kind of just don't want to make a mistake, really. So a bit unfortunate, but I'm not going to just write him off.
No chance.
So, yeah, he went the best performance.
it's hard because Emi Martinez is Emi Martinez, and even Emi Martinez makes big mistakes, like the Liverpool game. It happens. Robin Olsen is Robin Olsen, so it's like Joe Gauchi. It might just take him a bit of time to get accustomed to how we play. It does seem like we've had him for 6 months now, so it took that period just to kind of learn how we set up in Unai Emery's system, what his role and responsibilities would be, and it might just require a few more games of playing as part of the first team just to get up to speed with it in an in-game situation. But
he did an interview on it with I can't remember who it was, but he did speak about the level when he joined. It was way harder than he expected, so that took time as well.
Facts, and he's going to take him time. Just coming from Australia, I mean, he's going to need to have a few games in a competitive manner playing for Villa just to get accustomed to it. So yeah, this pre-season will only help him with that. Ellie says, I'm a bit confused with the Dobbin signing. Any thoughts on that? Again, was the Dobbin signing just a way of working around PSR in essence, or do you think he does have a part to play within the first team squad?
I think he was more PSR personally. I'm being brutally honest, but I don't want to just write him off because even his cameo at Villa Park earlier in the season, like I can see potential, but yeah, definitely needs a loan, I think. Especially when you do that deal and you go out and get Philogene as well. It's almost like it just knocks him down the pecking order. You have Ilin Jr., Philogene, trying to sign another winger, second striker hybrid.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially. It's just like,
or we don't. Even if we don't, there's still so many players. I feel that we're ahead of him right now, but
Vittoria would be ideal, man. Can we not? What's going on with Vittoria? Like, have we just forgotten about him? Can we still not loan to them now?
Yeah, Vittoria. I don't know what is the case regarding that because in the ownership details, because we had to reduce our percentage shares, didn't we? Just for the Conference League. But in terms of the relationship, we still have a relationship with them. So yeah, I'm surprised that we haven't used that.
In the Conference League, they went out in the qualifying round as well. So
it's just like
couldn't even make it to the line. To be fair, we can't talk though, can we?
I know. We got Al-Kababi.
It's just jarring, but I'd be sending Beauregard, Feeney, Dobbin to Vittoria, not to Real Union, where the standards just so low. Like, send them to the Portuguese league if we could.
Yeah, and any of the other sides that be really good loans is a lot more competitive than that standard. But yeah, maybe Zed. What do you think to Zed? Do you think that's more competitive? I'd say.
So what, Real Union?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. It's close.
Michelle's joined. Thanks for joining, Michelle. Kevin says, we didn't experimented at centre half. We're desperate for a centre back. Did that feel like an experiment, as if to say we need a centre back more than anything? Was that kind of making a point, or?
Like, he actually looked like he suited in when he was even receiving the ball a lot more. Some of his passes were off though. He was trying to progress.
Yeah,
but he looked like that type of game because he lacks pace. Looked like he suited in more than trying to bomb forward like we need from our left back. Yeah, he wasn't.
It feels kind of reminiscent to a Luke Shaw. You know, when
I think
Luke Shaw. What are you saying? I was saying it's kind of reminiscent to like when a Luke Shaw drops in at centre back for Manchester United. He kind of, he moves in that position, and he actually does quite well when he plays there. So yeah, it's interesting. We'll see if that. I don't think it would be a point as such as if to say I need a centre back now. You need to get. I just think he was experimenting with that. But yeah, going on saying he's 18 is a valid point. He's built like a beast, makes you think.
I think someone. Yeah, I think my brother's just he's been called there. I'll carry on with your questions or. Just read Aston Villa are monitoring Mohamed Kudus as a potential Moussa Diaby replacement. This will be a straight swap deal with no money involved. I don't know about that. I swear, like the value Kudus at like 80 million. Like, I don't know if that's true or not. That would be crazy though. If that was true, I'd 100% take that deal.
I'm back. Someone's not happy in the house.
Yeah, bro. Carried on in your absence.
Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I was just reading the questions. Dubbing to be loaned, I think, yeah. Championship loan, what do you reckon? Or would you want a better league for him abroad?
Yeah, Championship loan abroad, maybe a Premier League. I don't know. I don't know what the thought process is with dubbing. I don't know. But potentially a loan would be good for him as well. Again, he's still young, and that might have been the idea behind that transfer for sure. Moving on, Gary's joined. Thanks for joining, Gary. Said, hi, lads. What do you think of Gauchi? He looks worse than Olsen to me. We just spoke on that, Gary. I think he just needs time. He hasn't been afforded the time that Olsen's had as of yet. He's only just come, so maybe a bit more time and see where he's at within a year and a bit for sure. Eli says again, Archer, Dobbin and Burgard is definitely going out on loan. Jason Ness, thanks for joining. He says,
I think Archer stays because of the homegrown quota.
Yeah, I think Archer stays. I don't think loaning Archer, it's either he stays or he's a sale. I think he's at that level now where he won't be loaned out. Do you know what I mean? Like,
to be fair, I do think he should probably either be loaned or sold, but I just think because of this rule in the Champions League where you need this, what is it, academy trained player. We've only got 4 at the moment and you need 4 for your squad. So I think he'll be kept along with, and same with Kessler as well for that very reason.
Yeah. Jason S, thanks for joining. He says, don't forget your little Aston Villa. 1 season in the top 4 doesn't make you big. Jason's not very happy this Monday evening. He's just watching the Villa podcast. So fair play to you, Jason. Thanks for joining. Kevin says, okay, Jason S, trot along now.
That's what only signing one player or transfer window will do to you.
I know, it gets you a bit delirious, doesn't it? And you start watching other teams' podcasts because you're nervous and you're worried. Yeah. Thanks for joining, Jason. Thanks for joining. Gary says, Duran for Saudi would be ideal. He'll be forgotten and won't be able to score against us. That must be a big factor. If we can get him to leave the country, I think that's a huge factor, don't you? Just out of mind, out of sight. They have to play him even in the Champions League.
He's perfect. I'd hope it would happen.
100% swap Kudus for Duran. Yeah, I don't think that will happen. But I like the thought process, Duncan. Gary said, are both sides in facts? Are both sides in Duran deal being childish now? We will make a profit and he can use it for someone else instead of stinking out the reserves. I don't think it's childish. I think that's just business. Both sides have been holding out strong. I don't think Villa are in a position where we have to sell Duran. Like, I don't think that's the case. We want the best deal out of it. Yeah, after selling Diaby. Even after his temperament and how he's acted, okay, and money's money, I understand that. But we're not in... the way we've turned down an offer, we're holding steady. Monchi's just holding firm, and he'll wait until we get the right amount of money. I think he feels that if it's not West Ham, there'll be another team. So I trust them. I trust them in that regard.
Do you think the Saudi interest was like ages ago, and like we've maybe dropped that in the media to try and push West Ham to bid again? Or
I think it's tactical games, but because then I saw today that they were saying on Sky regarding Fulcrook and West Ham potentially interested in him. So that's their version of playing the same game. They're saying, look, okay, we can go to other strikers. We have interest in other strikers if you're not going to accept what we offer. So I think it's part and parcel. It's just both sides looking for the best deal for them, and they'll come to. That's how it works. That's the game, and yeah, that's the game. And I think as fans, you just wait and see. Like, there's no point getting caught up on it because it will work out. It will work out for sure. It might not be right now, but if it is, say, another week, there will be a deal agreed because it will get to a point where West Ham do need a striker and Villa will want to sell Duran. So, yeah. And he said, remember our 30 million bid for ESR? Yeah, Matt, he's just gone to Fulham for 27 million and five and then 7 million in add-ons.
which is mad because for the last 4 seasons, we've been told that we've signed him every time.
Yeah, mad, isn't it? That's one of those that has never gone away. Emil Smith-Rowe was kind of in there. He was reaching the Jermaine Defoe, Benny McCarthy. He was getting close to that as a rumour that would be there every season. And but yeah, he's gone to Fulham, and it's mad that they turned down our bid for him all those years ago, wasn't it? Well, those 2 years ago, and they sold him for virtually the same price after offering him that bumper contract and giving him the number 10 shirt.
Giving him Burkham shirt, man. But a lot of Arsenal fans seem gutted, so it must have made a pretty significant impact on them.
Yeah, I can understand why. I mean, he's come through their academy, and he's a good player. Smith-Rowe is a good player.
Yeah, he's just
he can't stay fit. He just can't stay fit, and I hope he does stay fit because he's a good player, and he was pushing for the England squad before he was having those injuries. Again, he won the under-21s, the Euros. He was part of that squad with Ramsey, Cameron Archer, Cole Palmer, Anthony Gordon, Morgan Gibbs-White. So yeah, there is a good player there, and he ain't moved out of London. So I think he'll do well there if he can stay fit. Rachel joined. Thanks for joining us this evening. All Gary says he caused 2K worth of damage to his houses and not a lads. Yeah. And
is that even true? Like,
I don't know.
Is that even true? There's
stories flying around. There's stories flying around.
I seen that tweet. Like, that account's weird that I seen that tweet from. I don't even know if it's true or not.
What tweet's that?
I think it's like Villa Mole or something on Twitter, so some random.
Okay.
Anyone can just say anything, can it? But I don't know.
Yeah, of course. Like, I just think Duran's he's just himself. He's just mad like that. Like, I don't know if he's done any damage to that, but he just doesn't care. Like, he just doesn't care whatsoever.
I watched Mcginn's interview after Liverpool again for the first time. I didn't realise he actually said those words.
Yeah. He said those words. Yeah.
But I'd never actually seen like the interview. Like, he's a nightmare to have on the pitch. I was like,
oh God, I know, mad. Gary says we are so past ESR now. He's old news. Facts. I agree. We've moved on from that for sure. Anything else, bro? You want to discuss? Looking forward to the next preseason game. Yeah, against RB Leipzig.
Yeah, man. We played them in 2019. Thought we was going to win the league after we beat them that time.
Do you remember that game? 3-0.
Free kick.
Horan free kick, yeah.
Trezeguet was doping, man. Like, he was going out of fashion. Like, he was crazy.
That was
crazy.
That game was mad at the time. It was the last game before the season, wasn't it? I think it was the last away one anyway. Yeah, 3-0. Yeah, we played so well that game, and yeah, it didn't quite go to as planned after that game where we thought we might actually have a really good season here. But yeah, RB Leipzig. I don't think none of the big names, Danny Almos, Xavi Simons, they won't be there, will they?
It does look like they're getting Xavi Simons on another loan.
So he's sticking around, yeah. Yeah, but I don't think they'll have any.
Carry on, sorry.
No, I was just saying that Danny Almo and that they won the Euro, so I don't think the Spain players will be back. The same as the England players aren't back yet.
I've heard our guys are back August the 5th.
August the 5th.
On Monday, on August the 5th.
So another week. Yeah. Yeah, so another good game, another good test, and yeah, just be interesting to see what lineup he goes for this time now. Does he stick to the same split, or are we going to start moving closer to the first team?
I think that whole swapping sides at half time's done now. Like, we're starting to get more. Like, the whole team didn't come off at half time. They started, like, Bailey stayed on, Roger stayed on, Baranachea stayed on until Onana came on for him later in the 15 minutes into the second half. So when we're getting to that point, also on Enzo Baranachea as well, Jacob Tanzwell, the Athletic reporter for us, said Villa have been like super surprised by how good he actually is in training. Like other players as well, reportedly.
I think you can tell by
like, on the pitch. I don't want to get too excited, but
like, it surprised me. Like, I thought he'd be decent, but I thought he's better than I thought. Like, I kind of thought, and watching highlights, I thought, okay, it's tough to gauge, but seeing him again next to other players, he looks really good, man. He looks really good.
This is coming after an ACL injury he's had in his career as well, so he doesn't
Yeah,
seem to have. And he's 23, but he hasn't played much football. So the fact he's showing up, performing like this already, it's like, wow, man. I'm excited. Him and Onana, yeah.
I would love it.
I think I
I
deserve
would love it. Yeah, so again, Yuri's yet to come back. John McGinn probably be back for Leipzig as well, because they're out there. Yeah, and just interesting to see as we get closer to that first team what that will start to look like. Centre back pairing, who will be the starting left back, who will be the starting right back. Obviously, Ezri Collins is still not back yet, so it'll be interesting to see what that is. The midfield too, who will be playing off the right? Will he be McGinn, or will he be playing in like the 10 role? Will Bailey be off the right? Will he be in that 10 role? Who will be the starting left midfield? I think it's Morgan Rogers is now to lose in that sense because Jacob Ramsey hasn't played any minutes yet in pre-season, and Philly Jean's just come back. Ealing Jr. as well. Where does he fit into it? So there's a lot of questions to be answered, and obviously Ollie Watkins isn't back yet. So in the next game, who starts up front? Will it be Cameron Archer or will it be Morgan Rogers again starting up front? And yeah, who will come on that left side if it is Morgan Rogers starting up front? And where does Emi Buendia fit in? Does he just play in that second striker role and slot in there? But yeah, there's so many players like Ross Barkley. We haven't even really spoke about Ross Barkley and like where he'll be fitting into this. It's mad. Will Ross Barkley play alongside Onana?
All I'll say is our cup lineups are going to be looking serious.
Yeah.
Like our cup lineups are going to be looking like we can rotate and we can have a strong squad, I think, and we're going to have players eager to play as well, itching to play.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited about. We can rotate a little bit and still have like a pretty decent 11.
And that's the top teams have two. They have two teams. And they can rotate from one game to the next, and the drop in standard and quality isn't that great. And that's what Man City are the best at doing, aren't they? They can change a side, make 4 or 5 changes, and still be just as good. And that's what we're looking to do. That's the level and standard we're looking to get to, and just improving the quality of the squad. From what we've done this window is a big part of that.
I'm gonna ask you one last question before we end it. Positions left to complete our transfer window and for you to be happy with the overall squad. What do you think we need left?
Having no Mings isn't back and hasn't played yet. I think centre back is one for me. Centre back. I think right back. I think Konsa should be a centre back. So centre back, right back, and then possibly that number 10. That number 10. Just because losing Diaby, I just think we need a 10. Like we just need another name within that in that area. But I think the defense is bigger than that at the moment. I don't know what are your thoughts.
I agree. That's my 3 positions: centre back, right back. I think right back's priority, man. I'm sorry if I have to be the bad guy, but I don't think Cash is good enough anymore. I think he needs to be moved on this window. Costa as maybe back up, Konsa as centre back, and we get in a new right back. That's good in possession, but that can also defend as well. So I think right back, centre back, and then a number 10 second striker, as in the same position, that can do both.
Yeah. I think centre. I think Mings hasn't trained, like, so we seem a bit light at centre back at the minute. That's the one position we just seem a bit light at for sure. And you said right back. I think that's more just a quality issue than the amount of players we have there. And yeah, the second striker with Moussa Diaby going now, we'll see. But yeah, we'll go through the comments. There's a few shouts as well within that. Taiwan, thanks for joining. He says bonjour. I haven't seen you in a while, so thank you for joining. Appreciate you being here. Gary says Buendia looks fine, but Mings is the one more injury away from retirement for me. so we need a CB. Yeah, I hope Mings is back to the level he was at. I just do. I just feel like it might take a bit longer for him to get to that level. Rachel, thanks for joining. Said CB who can play right back is the one for me. I think a lot of people are of the same thought process, bro. Duncan, Cash isn't good enough, was embarrassing the other night for a senior player. And Rachel says, Cash doesn't look to be moving anywhere this window.
Yeah, Cash is the interest from AC Milan, but they've chosen Emerson Royale now, who I don't think is that much better than Cash. That's frustrating, I think, a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, Gary says Hermoso going back to Atletico now. Apparently, what a waste of time that was. I don't know how much interest there was on our part regarding that, if any at all. Spendon goes, what about Chalobah? Chalobah would be a good signing, but the fee quoted is quite high for Chalobah from what I've seen, 35, 40 million. I don't know if they'll get that. Considering they just signed Tosin Adebayo on a free, they might be looking for Chalobah to move on. He didn't go on their pre-season tour, did he? So I like Chalobah as a player, and he has the experience of playing that level. So definitely. Yeah, bro. I think that's it for us. Thanks for joining, everyone. It's been a great show on our 10 to talk to all things Villa. Thank you for the numbers. And again, if you could like the stream, subscribe if you're new around here as well. We love doing these shows. So really appreciate you being in the comments and giving your opinions and thoughts, because it makes the show what it is. Thanks for joining, bro. Again, always a pleasure.
Enjoyed it, bro. Love it. Love the show, man. Love talking Villa with you, man. Like, we love the club. Obviously, we're opinionated. And I can't wait for the season. I'm back in that mood now after the Euros is finished. I can't wait for the season.
We were saying the Euros, it kind of felt like it's flown by now. It's all club football, back in the groove. Let's get the season started. And then the first weekend spanking like we had against Newcastle. Like, I can't believe last season started like that after everything. Losing 5-1 on the opening weekend was mad. But it all turned out to be fantastic in the end. So whatever happens the first weekend, always keep the faith. So yeah, bro, thanks for joining. Up the Villa, everyone, and see you again on the next show.